and welcome to Impact Africa, our online talk show where we get to have conversations with diverse people and organizations who are impacting lives positively. Yes, this is me, Kemi Akiode Adebayo, aka Mama K. And in today's program, to share a story is my dear, beautiful, kind, multi-talented sister friend, Ms Thabang Segaecho. I'm sure I'll get it wrong. You should tell us how to pronounce your last name. She's an evangelist, a presenter, a broadcaster, and she does a lot of things. She's a board member at the Cape Town TV. She's the founder of the Sanctum Foundation, and she is based in Cape Town, South Africa. Thabang, how do we pronounce your last name? I didn't want to moderate, so let's start with that one first.
Okay, so
and what does it mean? What does your last name mean?
Yeah, I know you're not the first one, Mama K, to struggle with that. But first, let me just thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the invitation, and a good, I guess, morning, afternoon, or evening to you.
Wherever we are.
Where they are, yes. But thank you so much. It's so great to be part of what you're doing. But yeah, so Segaecho means my way, pretty much my way or the highway. It's a Tswana, Sotho surname. Okay. But I don't blame you, but I know you're going to get it right.
I will, because we're going to do some lessons after this program to do that. I was doing some lessons before, but I wasn't paying attention. Huh?
Yes.
It shows you those who pay attention in school or don't.
Right,
so Thabang as well. What does that mean? So,
okay.
Because I'm sure, is that a Tswana name as well?
Yes, that's correct. So it's also crossed between Tswana and Sotho, but it's common amongst the males.
Right.
Which is
so you're one of those who have a unisex name.
That's
so it could be a
right.
man's name or
a girl's name. It's
name.
only recently that it became popular with girls.
All right.
But so Thabang basically means joy. And but it's so strong, it's like a mark, you know. That's why in my language, it mostly is accustomed. A person just assumes that you are a guy until they find out, oh, hold on, it's actually a lady.
So why did your parents, did you ask them why they decided at that time to
You
name
know,
you?
Mama K, I have asked, nobody's told me. But let me tell you, something in me is telling me that probably somebody was looking for a son or expecting a son. So just as comfort, they're like, let's just call it Thabang, so at least, you know. But my brother then came along, but we only 2 siblings.
Okay, so are you the older or the?
I'm the oldest.
You're
yes.
the oldest.
Yes.
Okay, what age gap is between you and your brother?
4 years.
4 years.
Yes,
wow.
but he's convinced I'm his mom. But another conversation for another day.
Because of probably the role you play in his life.
Exactly.
So tell us about life growing up. Where did you grow up?
Grew up in a small little town in Vryburg in the Northwest Province. Moved this side not out of my own decision, but because mom wanted to start a new life. So we kind of like just came along, you know. So 96 is when we moved to Cape Town.
Okay.
A very, very brand new lifestyle. I was like, geez, what's going on? Big city, big lights. Whoa, because Vryburg is a small little town, eh? Nothing really goes on that side. So now you can imagine me, 12-year-old and exposed to all this stuff. It took a while. So about 2-3 years, then we really adjusted, you know, and like, okay, cool. So finished my schooling here.
Which schools did you go to?
I went to the Norman Henshaw High School, but we started at Timer Hall because I was already at primary that side with my brother. And then I took about 2-year gap, went to London for 2 years, loved it. Very different as well.
I'm sure.
Very
How
different.
did you cope with the weather?
It was a shocker. I was like, snow, what on earth, you know? You can imagine.
Okay. So.
But it was a shocker, but I mean, I was like, okay, I can get used to this. But, you know, I still have that connection because I've still got friends staying there. In fact, in 2007, I went to go and visit a friend of mine because she just had her own son. Okay. So I was like, let me come and play auntie role. Just wonderful. So yeah, and then came back and then started my own little thing, a little business. It went well.
What were you doing with the business?
So in the first ever one was like, okay, everybody's all about events. Let me jump in and see what's happening there. So I went into events, and that was quite fascinating. And having to deal with corporates and dealing with, you know, clients, very eye-opening. I've had to learn how to sit on a boardroom and, you know, business etiquette, you know, all of those things. Quite interesting. And I don't want to lie, there was obviously fear because you don't know what you're jumping into. And being that young, 23, 24, you kind of like still trying to find your footing. So, but
so
I'm
at the age of
that.
23 was when you started
my own.
That's interesting.
I just thought to myself, I want to do something that I'm actually going to enjoy. But the idea was, funny enough, was let me do that while I study online.
Right.
So here Thabang studies online through UNISA, and that didn't go very far.
What happened again along the way?
don't like this. I don't want to be an accountant. Why am I even studying this? I don't like maths. But I always knew inside of me that whatever I had to, it was not resting in my spirit. So I knew it was something that I wasn't going to be really interested in. I'll just be doing it, just make mommy happy or whatever. But she was flexible, she doesn't know those mothers. She's like, go for your passion, because if it's your passion, you will excel. I won't have to, you won't have to drag yourself to do it. Anyway, fast forward to now, I find myself studying theology. And actually now that's where my love started. Having traveled to Dubai, been in and out for 5 years, doing a couple of things. Again, exposure is that because
important. Of the ministry that you're calling?
No, that was
where you've been called to go into.
Yeah, it was a bit of business and pleasure, because I like traveling myself. But again, I had some business interest that side. But again, I was in line with that events marketing, e-commerce now. So I was switching more to e-commerce. That's why, those guys are futuristic in everything to do with technology. So I am grateful for the exposure I gained there. And then traveled in Egypt, Israel, Swaziland. And I like traveling, Mama Ken. I've told you this, I love traveling. So you can imagine I was heartbroken when the borders were closed. I'm like, that's the end of my life.
Yeah, no, that was tough.
So having met people, made sound good relations with people from all over the world, it has added a lot of value in my life. Because sometimes, we worry that we want to get to gather what we want to gather, but I can tell you, relationships, it will take you to places, So I always tell people that take care of your relationships. You are always one person away from that big break or from that opportunity or whatever it is, So anyway, coming back to now, coming back from there, I decided, okay, cool. As I was traveling, I was also maintaining my business. But as an entrepreneur, you diversify. An entrepreneur never does.
Serial entrepreneur.
You never do one thing.
No,
you do something different. And you're doing something that you had no idea you would ever find yourself in there. But again, it's about seeing the opportunity, seeing the gap. Once you are able to establish that, then you're like, okay, let me try this, And some things work, some things don't work. So people that say that, entrepreneurship is a walk in the park with your gateway to freedom, no.
Tell them.
No, it's more like slavery, 24 hours around the clock. Really, you don't have time.
But it's a good way
no, it is.
Get into the work, opportunity and run things for yourself. Yes. But it's not a walk in the park.
No,
and that's what you're saying.
Sacrifices back to back. You give up your freedom. You can't be saying, I'm booked off sick. You don't work. You don't get paid. Because everything rests on you. You carry a lot, of responsibility. So I always tell the ladies, if you want to do or you want to be an entrepreneur and running your business, be prepared to get your hands dirty. You are there 20. You don't switch off. But everybody likes the idea of, I got my own business, but let's get to the work part. And it's like, I don't know if I want this anymore. To be frank with you, I had to really pull myself, up all the time. Every day you wake up, you make that decision. Every day is a fresh day, and you say, I'm going to do it. But what kept me going, I guess, is because of my faith. Because when you do business, one thing for sure, because you don't know first and foremost what tomorrow is gonna bring. My solid foundation was just faith. I was like, I had to walk by faith, because you don't know. You don't even know once you done a proposal to a client what their response is going to be. Tomorrow they can pull you out because they've got somebody better. So you really, it's exciting, but at the same time you are always in suspense. You know what I mean? You can never really relax. So I had to really dig deep and okay, I need to ride on my faith, because I actually don't know how this is going to go. In every decision, in working with different people, in establishing relationships, everything for me was anchored in faith.
Right. So how did you get into your blogs, the Christian blog that you and your foundation? When was it started? What do you do? And why did you start the foundation?
Let me tell you, Mama K, that just hit me out of nowhere, because here I am doing me, living my life, and I'm loving what I do. I enjoy business. I think I'm doing well, And then one day that calling started, because in my head, ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to build God a church, a physical church. I guess that's why I got married to an architect, because God, I think, was positioning the idea. Hallelujah. But no, I didn't get to build in the physical church. So that desire started coming up again, this childhood desire. And from that, I was like, okay, now what can I do? Because I don't have the funds to build a church. And at that time I had not studied ministry yet, so but it kept at me, and I was like, how do I do it? How do I build a church? How do I communicate? What can I use? And then I was like, oh, Christian blog. I was like, thank you God. So the idea dropped, and I ran with it. Did the Christian blog, and the interesting thing is that I had done all my, as far as possible, my holy tours. So I had a lot of pictures that I was taking, just to make sure that it was like part of content, but I wasn't aware. I was content.
You were just going with the flow.
I was just being a tourist. I want to find that now I'm going to be pulling from these files. You know? And then I built the thing, and I was like, okay, I don't know from here, but all I know is there's the blog, but I don't know what's next. And one thing led to another, where the blog is there, and I'm thinking, okay, how do I go to the people? What can I do? Because the blog you write, and then you put the content out, somebody reads, and you hope and pray that they get ministered to. But then the connection is not the same as going into the communities. And that's where Sanctum came in.
Okay, you know what? We'll want to hear more about that. We'll be right back. Wow, my dear sister Thabang, Lady Thabang, by the way, isn't it? I should be referring that with the right name. So your journey, your name meaning joy, and your last name meaning your way, and walking by faith, you know, up till now, a Tswana beautiful lady that's traveled the world, you know, like you shared, from London to Israel to, well, different places, I believe. And a serial entrepreneur from a very young age, from one business to another, and seeing the vision, you know, God had for you along the way, and taking the path of, okay, I wanted to study accounting online, but didn't work, and then going into theology, and then using your blog as a way to build a church, you know, basically for God, and starting the foundation. So when did you start the foundation exactly? And what have you managed to do up till now?
Okay, so with the foundation, it was pretty much an extension, right, of God's heart, because like I said, you know, with blogging, you blog and that's that, but the interaction is not there, the human interaction is not there. So that came as a spin-off, like an evangelical aspect of God's heart. So it's an extension of God's heart, which is the blog. So yeah, it came in like months, literally after the blog. And then I was like, okay, we need to register this and everything. So what was happening at the time? We were moving from one home or orphanage or youth center, etc., trying to figure out how we can come in and assist them in what they needed. So they'll be pretty much giving us their list, saying, this is what we're busy with, this is the project we're busy with, and this is how we can get involved. And then we would go out and source funding for them, or source help in whichever manner, and come and add on to what they were already doing. So I thought to myself, well, there are things that I particularly am interested in, which is food aid, which is educational programs, support programs, etc. Now, for me to have that kind of like narrowed down, that's when then the foundation was established. And then from there, I was like, okay, who do I partner with to carry forth these programs? That's why I partnered with the UCCSA Church. They've got about 250 plus churches nationally, and some in Zimbabwe, Swaziland, and Botswana. So I thought, okay, they'll be nice to align with, because then that way I can reach, you know, the people and still have a steadiness to it, you know, because yes, I'm about feeding, I'm about let's feed those who are hungry, but then beyond that, what is there, you know? So now partnering with the church brings in the word of God aspect, which is what I was also interested in, because the idea is to eradicate poverty, right? Not to nurse it and to manage it, but to get rid of it completely. And me being a Christian and evangelist, I'm like, yeah, come on, Jesus, we can do this, you know? So hence the partnership, and that's how it came about. And then from the Sanctum, then I went to Cape Town TV.
Yes, tell us, how did you get into TV and radio?
You know, I was
with the Africa USA. Come on, tell us the story.
It's interesting how God just puts things together. So because of my side of saying, okay, I want to partner with strategic partners, Cape Town TV had an opportunity where NGOs can be a part of their stable, right? So I then submitted the application on behalf of Sanctum, and then I was invited in for an interview, just like we're doing now. And fast forward, the gentleman said that, would you consider presenting? And I'm like, presenting what? Like, would you care to present? Like, actually, maybe, yeah. But, you know, obviously I'm frightened. I'm thinking, what am I walking into? But I'm like, you know what? I support what Cape Town TV does, what they stand for, and why not? It's good mileage for me. It's good practice. Maybe I might just like it.
Right.
And then I became a presenter. Then I was like, actually, I can get used to this, you know. And then eventually, because of my involvement with certain ideas and projects to do with the Cape Town TV, I was invited to become a board member. Right. So the voting happened. I was like, okay, great, why not, you know? Let's see how this pans out. And as all of that is happening, then I was presented with the opportunity to be part of Africa USA Radio, because the owner had seen me on Facebook doing my teachings and some of the stuff I would share about, you know, the program at Cape Town TV that I was presenting for, and some little snippets, etc. Meanwhile, I didn't know he was watching. So he's like, oh, you know, would you be interested? And I said, yeah.
Why not?
Mind you, I'm like, yeah, I don't have a single background on this. I'm not trained for this, right? So I'm just like, let's just jump in. You know, again, as an entrepreneur, everything is risk. So I'm already used to the life of risk. So it wasn't difficult for me to, I was like, figure it out when I get there, you know? That's exactly how it happened.
Right.
So yeah, currently I am with Africa USA Radio. I've got my own show called The Burning Bush. Okay. And what I like about my show, I've
and we will share the details of that.
Yes, at the end. Yes. Okay. What I love about it is I've kept it diverse. You know, we speak about real issues that are affecting real people and how we deal with it, you know, and what does the Bible say about it. So that's basically what it's about. It's not only closed off to let's punt, you know, our brothers and sisters who are in the ministry, but it's about also reaching out to everybody who can add value. We always got something to learn from each other. Organizations like yourself, you know, all sorts of people, you know, I keep it very open, because I do believe that, you know, it's a good platform for someone to come and share that which they are doing, but also for somebody else that's listening to see, you know, rather to find some sort of like value from tuning into the actual station, you know. So yeah, so that's what I'm.
So what have been some of the challenges that you've experienced? Because I'm sure there's many.
Let me
but any particular one, you know, that you have,
absolutely,
and how you've managed to overcome them.
Let me tell you, Mama K, you know, it's one thing to, like, you see, we're engaging like this because we can look at each other, but now try and do that and somebody's on the other line and you don't know you can't read anything, you know, you don't know how the conversation is going to flow. So developing that skill of sort of like having a very, you know, like it's almost like something on the side that just has to let you know where you are with the conversation and trust that everything flows. But for me personally was in terms of doing everything at once, because you go in there, you produce your own show, you go out and get your own guests, you know, you have to learn the technicalities of how to work the mixer, how to work the system itself. And without the technical know-how, it becomes difficult, you know. So I had to learn that. And in that, I had to learn in the way how to produce my own show, how to structure the show. But thank God to Mr. G, the head of production, very generous person. Okay. So he literally mentors me. Like, I'm one of those people, Mama K, I'm calling him at one. I'm like, Mr. G, I have no idea what that does, you know. But I thank God for him, because, you know, when God throws you into something, he will always provide the support to carry you. So he's been very instrumental in me becoming the presenter that I am today. Not that I'm the cream de la creme, but I have grown exponentially because of the wealth of knowledge he has been able to share. And I was prepared to learn. And he would always tell me, Thabang, you are like my stalker. I'm like, Mr. G, what am I supposed to do? Where am I going to get the information from, you know?
So you know what? We'll stop and be right back, because there's some things I want you to share with us. We'll be right back. My dear sister, you've had an amazing journey. I love your, like you said, that your teachable spirit and having mentors, even you probably mentor others, and we're probably going to ask you to mentor more people as well.
No worries, I'm happy to do it on my case.
So, your journey has been interesting, taking risk, being teachable, going for it, not, walking by faith, all the time, just getting into it, allowing God to surround you as well with the right people.
That's right.
So can you share, you've already shared some, I believe, as we've been speaking, but I want you to focus on you sharing key life lessons, that you've gained as an entrepreneur, as a student, as a mother, as a wife, as whatever roles you've had to play up till now, as a friend, as a presenter, as an evangelist. How do you manage to juggle all that? What are the key lessons that you can share with us, and we can tell a younger Thabang that will say, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that, and learn from you. So please.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Quite a lot, and some I had
I know, you have to condense it, because I'm sure you can write a book on
on.
Yeah.
But it has been some that came, I guess, naturally. Some I had to hit my head against the wall and then learn from there. But just to try and answer your question as best as I can, I have learned to, first and foremost, to be kind with myself, because I'm one of those people, where it has to be perfect or else, I
thought I was the only one. We have issues,
right? So you want everything done to the T. So that would really be something that would steal, I guess, my joy and my peace more often than anything else, because I was so pedantic about the details, and when you are learning something, especially a new skill, or you are going through into a new project, you always have to leave room that things are not always going to be the way that you want. You can't always control everything, but at the same time, so long as you've given this your best shot, then you can rest assured that, I gave it my 110%. Didn't quite come out the way that I want, but hey, tomorrow is another day, let me try again. So I had to move from that space of beating myself up to be saying, it's okay, tomorrow is another day. What did I not do right? Let me just do inventory, take stock of where I could have improved. What else do I need to do better? And reach out to people who know better. In most cases, entrepreneurs sometimes get caught up in the space where they think they've got it all worked out. No, you've got nothing worked out. Trust me, But if you don't ask, nobody's gonna know that you need help in that regard, because you're not saying it. So pride gotta go. Because you have to humble yourself and be willing to learn, be willing to be corrected, and don't take it in a negative way. Use it to build yourself up in a productive manner. So receive criticism, but understand it's coming from a place of growing you and maturing you in what you are wanting to do. So, and again, that speaks to interpersonal skills, which are very important, because in the industry we are in, we deal with different kinds of personalities around the clock. So emotional intelligence is important, but you also need to be that person where people feel like you are approachable, they know what you stand for, right? But you need to be a people's person, if I put it that way. Not that people are going to walk all over you, but you need to have that approachable warmth, that warm spirit that invites people in, because the more people are feeling comfortable with you, the more open and relaxed they become, and they're willing to share more. I've had to be more disciplined now, because now you're wearing different hats and you need to allocate yourself to your tasks. It's like managing yourself in different roles, because the hat that I wear as Sanctum is different from the hat that I wear as a presenter, from the hat that I wear as somebody teaching the Bible or on the pulpit, at church, because I also preach.
Oh, you do?
I do preach. I had a word that I had to share during Easter Friday as well. So I do preach at church. I'm involved in women ministry full time as well. So with all of those multi disciplines, you have to know, you have your wits about you, and understand in which role you are operating according to what you are doing, And again, I'm a mom, so with the mom I had to learn patience. Oh, mama, which is my struggle.
How old are your children?
8 and 6.
Oh, so patience,
Let me tell you, patience. Woo. Yeah, which is something I naturally struggle with. But thank God for my kids, because I think God gave me, my kids were very demanding, and it's like they are trained to test me in that, you know. So I've had to be very patient. It has come in handy, and I have learned to be gracious, you know, with myself, and also extend the same grace with others. Because nobody's perfect on this earth. We will fall short here and there, but it's important to know that, you know, no, I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning to say, I'm going to try and mess up somebody's day. You know what I mean? So it's important for us to always be keeping the positive mindset and get one another from a place of saying, that could be me. I could be the one in this situation, and leave room for those kind of things, you know, because we're in a system, the cancel culture. We are in that culture where it's like, they approve of one little mistake or one little thing that you don't do that doesn't speak to what they believe, and they cancel you. Whatever happened to having that irreducible call from one woman to the next to say that it's okay, because we are still human, right? It's like we've gotten to expect miracles out of one another, things that are just, you know, we shouldn't even holding each other captive to, you know, because I think that's a society we live in, and that it's stealing away slowly. I feel it's like eroding the humanity out of us, and we need to go back to revisit that Ubuntu, you know, spirit that has carried forth a lot of our people that came before us, you know, to establish sound, very strong communities, etc. So yeah, I've learned quite a lot. I've learned, you know, my communication skills have improved, thank you Lord, because I speak you know, all the time. You know, presenting is all about talking, preaching is all about talking, and mentoring is also all about talking, and also to listen. Mama K, you know, we have to listen to other people, not always being so quick to be like, when can I get a gap to say what I want to say, but to really afford the person an opportunity to share what is it in their heart, what do they want to share with you, and really be present. Because I feel like sometimes today you are there, but you are not there. You know what I mean? So it's important for us to really be present in the moment, so we experience the fullness of it, and not always worrying about, I need to do this next, I need to do that next, I need to do that next. Because if you go with the speed at which everything is going, you can easily get lost in it, you know, and lose your way, I guess, in the process, or lose yourself in the process. So yeah, which I think the influence also comes from social media, because it's like people have to have alter egos or other personalities, you know, because of social media. What you see on there is not what you're gonna get in real life. So that is robbing a lot of people of their authentic selves, because I feel like if you can't be authentically you are also robbing me of experiencing you, the beauty in you, you know, which God has given each one of us. So yeah, those are things that I've had to save deep
stuff. I could go on, and I wish we could go on, but I want to bring in as a very, very important one as a woman, you know, who has faced challenges and gone on and taken risks, and some of what you've shared there, which are really, really deep, and it's like you're speaking to me as well as we're going, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's me. Oh, okay, I need to learn more of that, and I'm hoping that is to some women out there. What more, in your opinion, though, can be done in terms of gender equality and to break the gender bias?
Yeah, you know, that is something that's very close to my heart, because being a woman, having been in business, there has been good days and there has been really bad days. So there has been situations where my capacity was questioned, you know, my ability to deliver on the objectives, on the task at hand. So it's always been a moment where you've had to prove yourself first before you could even get, you know, the green light, you know, in terms of what you could bring into the table. But I also believe that with that aspect, and I know that the United Nations, that is what their theme is for the year, which is very profound. We need to shift away from just also, I feel it does more harm than good, where women are just drawn into different industries just because they need to fill the female gap. So you are black, you are under 25, we're just going to throw you in there because we need a black face there, you know. We need to do things on a merit basis where she's qualified, she's got the experience, she knows what she's doing, she has the knowledge, you know. Let's give her the opportunity. So in as much as it's a very powerful theme that they are running, which I absolutely love, but it's also important that it's approached in a way that does justice to women instead of does more damage than already certain things have. I mean, we know from the government, they mustn't hold me to this, in different areas, women have just been thrown in there. And when they struggle in that position, then it proves the point that no wonder women are not empowered. It's no wonder we can't trust women to be taking up CEO positions, being executives, which is far from the truth. Had you gotten somebody that's educated, who has the rapport and can actually fill that vacancy and be able to perform, we wouldn't be saying the same thing. So I think it's very important that industries, it's not because they're trying to sideline women, but it's also affording women, an opportunity that they actually deserve based on merit. And that way, I believe that we can really start to see the change that we want to see. Put the person that has the capacity to do the job, and they will deliver. I do have faith. I do believe that we do have women who can take up any kind of job that they put their mind to, but we need to be doing the proper matching systems. We have to put those things in place, you know. So it's not only about let's chuck her there because she's a woman, and then hopefully she will work, and she's gonna drown, you know, and that defeats the purpose. It does more damage than anything else.
I like that term, put up the proper matching system. You know what? We'll be right back. My sister Thabang, you are on fire. You know, what you shared there with the life lessons, with the, you know, how we can break the gender bias and address more gender equality about, and I like, you know, what you said about not just following a theme, you know, each year, but matching, following the right thing, putting people with the right skills, you know, and so on. So obviously you're very passionate about women issues as a minister yourself. Like you said, you run which I didn't know that you have a women minister. Or maybe I knew, but I keep forgetting, you know, all the time. My final question is, obviously you have a lot of things you're passionate about and you work on in terms of social issues, from poverty to, you know, women issues and gender issues. Is there anything else, you know, that speaks to you personally in terms of a social issue, and what are the solutions, you know, to them, to that issue in particular?
Mambeke, you know, of late, it's always been something in the back of my mind, but I do believe that the amount or the level of suicides that are occurring on a day-to-day basis in the country of South Africa, in Africa, in the globe at large, they're actually very alarming. And this is actually it's almost like it's an indication, you know, of rooted issues that we are not addressing as a global village, if I should put it that way. So I do believe one of the aspects that doesn't do justice to a certain extent in terms of the levels of suicide or people being led to commit suicide is definitely social media. I do give talks on this because I'm very passionate about it when it comes to young girls in particular, but also young boys. Because, you know, if it's not approached appropriately and it's not used not used in a productive manner, it's going to be counterproductive. So I always tell anybody that whose job requires for them to be in that space to approach it in such a way that it needs to work for them and not for it to damage them, because it can have the opposite effect. Find out why are you on social media to begin with. Do you even need to be there? You understand what I'm saying? Because it is a tool. It's a marketing tool. These guys are in business, right? They are all about making the money. So if people are dying in the process, we can't hold them accountable for that. But it's my responsibility and, you know, yours as community members to find out where can we come in aiding, especially the youth, you know, in terms of empowering them and giving them the knowledge of what to do and what not to do when it comes into that technology space. Because here's the reality of it. It's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. No. And our kids are going to be living with this. I've got 8-year-old, 6-year-old, and they are girls. And I know that by the time they are 12, it won't be Twitter anymore. It will be something else, more advanced, on a more other level. So it's going to advance only from here. But then how do we mentally prepare the youth? How do we mentally prepare the girls to say, this is what you are dealt and this is how you should best approach it? I always tell them, you can use it to build you or you can use it to destroy you. It really depends. But mind you, little ones are very vulnerable. They are not exposed, they haven't got the experience. And parents are busy sometimes to oversee what their children are doing. You don't know when the child is holding the phone, what are they doing with it? Who are they talking to? Which doors are they opening? And what are they inviting into their lives? Innocently so in most cases, you know. So as parents, we need to be a little bit also more involved in terms of being there for our children to see what are they partaking in that internet, in that space where the whole globe is literally, a person is like a button away from accessing the privacy of your child, and that's the reality of it. So with the little ones, I'll say, well, find out what project you are passionate with. It's okay if you change it in 2 years or 3 years, but do it in such a way that you structure your mind, you know, and your thoughts in a productive way, because there are skills you can pick up which will help you later and help others within the community. So like one of the girls was like, well, I love makeup, and I said, why don't you start your makeup brand? Do it now. You've got, you know, start now. Investigate, how do you actually source it? Who do you source it from? Get your page worked out, get the logo, get this, got that. So I do believe women like myself and you, Mama K, who are passionate about this kind of stuff, being entrepreneurs, we can actually advise the little ones better on how to maximize on what they have. So that those are skills they're going to learn. Those are skills that they can also impart to other people. Now, going back to suicide, kids are under so much pressure about all the lies that they see that's been presented on Instagram particularly, and Twitter, etc., etc. Not everything that is on social media is the truth, you know, but they find it hard to believe because those guys are good at convincing. People don't know that people get dealt things. You get given a car because it's called endorsement, you get given clothes, etc., because you've become a walking billboard. You are just an advertising billboard for them. But most kids don't know that information. I know that because I've been in the entertainment industry, and I know exactly how the endorsements work, etc., etc. And they put themselves under pressure. If they can't get to the level, the person whom they idolize, they just see one way out is like, I gotta take my life out. The same thing with the same people who are in the limelight, celebrities are like, they are also victims themselves, because they also are under a lot of pressure from their peers and everything else, because now that's happening. So it can be a really messy space to be in, especially if you are not anchored in why are you there in the first place. Why are you on social media? What are you looking for? Who is your target market? You know, all of those things you need to literally have a mental, you know, you have to go through them and do a summary. And then you'll find out if or whether or not you should be on social media. You know, I use it to peddle the word of God, because, you know, I am an evangelist. I preach the gospel of Jesus, and that's what I'm doing it for. If I'm not going to be do that, then I don't know why I'm hanging around there. You know, I speak about sanctum, etc. So I find out how I can best advance what my interests are and that which I'm called to do at that point.
I think we have to have a deeper conversation on the social media and parenting.
Yes.
I'm just looking at you, and I'm looking at, you know, how, yes, like you said, the root cause, you know, why, how this is damaging, you know, more and causing more problem than we even realize it.
That's right.
But we have it, and we can't, it's not going to go away,
It's
like
not
you
going
said.
anywhere.
Is it probably going to even be in a different and advanced state? So I think we need to have deeper conversation on that.
Absolutely.
So I don't know, I'm just thinking, I'm looking at you, you know, we probably need to have a program specifically on that. And I know you're going to say yes.
It's a yes. It's a yes.
It's a yes. Where we could get different people's opinion and get the young people to hear their voice as well.
Yes.
Do they agree with that or not?
Yes.
Or are we not understanding them? Are we not realizing that, you know, this is a cancel generation or whatever they call it now? So I'm going to stop there.
Okay.
Because if not, we're going to go on. And I think we need to have a dedicated program, you know, continue to have this conversation and to get more people on board.
Absolutely.
To look at not just conversing, but how do we take it forward more into action and implement, you know, working with yourself. So I celebrate you, Thabang.
Thank
Lady
you so
Thabang.
much, Mama K.
You are such an enigma. You're amazing. You have so much in you. so much to still give of yourself and so much you're still doing. I don't even want to ask what you're doing now in terms of entrepreneurship, but I guess we have to watch that space to see.
Entrepreneurs never rest.
No, they never rest, to see more, that'll be coming. And, may God that you've used as your anchor and your foundation continue to give you that wisdom, the strength, the all that you need, basically, because sometimes we don't know. When you get weary, when you're tired, when things don't work, to continue to lift you up, to surround you with the right people so that you keep walking by faith and keep putting back like you've done. Whether be it in church, in the community, in the studio, on the radio, on TV, wherever it is. But I believe God has only just started with you.
Yeah, he's starting really fast, eh?
So he's only just started with you. So there's going to be more coming, and we're going to be watching that space. And I look forward to more conversation. This is just going to be the beginning, I believe, and more, to come. To share. And to learn, from your own learn, as well.
Yes.
So
thank you so much, Mama K. I appreciate it. Yeah, God has been my everything. Everything.
I can see that. I can see that.
I don't even know how to put on makeup. I'm like, come on, Holy Spirit. I need you.
Really?
Is this hair? This one doesn't look right. I tell you, what am I wearing today? Like everything's like, come on, God, you got a plan, right? You knew what I was going to wear today. Come on.
You're right. In those little things, God is in there.
It sounds weird to other people.
I know. No, it sounds
like literally.
I'm laughing now and I'm thinking, you're probably right. I need to. Okay. You see, you learn every day.
He's good.
Now I'm going to follow that each morning. I'm going to wake up the other day and say, what clothes, which makeup, how do I do this?
The best makeup artist, best fashionista would be like, that color's not going right. No, that hairdo doesn't work. And it works for me, Even when I go shopping, I'm like, God, I'm looking for that jacket. You know what I want, And I get there, it's on sale. I'm like, hallelujah. Make your ways known unto the Lord and He'll make you successful. Like I tell you, Mama K.
Wow. You are incredible. You're amazing. I have to stress that word. Thank you for allowing us, to do this with you, and looking forward to more. So in closing, I want you to speak to anyone you want to speak to out there. Be it the young people, be it the women, those with faith, without, I don't know, girl child, boy child, whoever you want to speak to, but I want you to do that and speak directly to them.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
If you're out there watching right now, I just want to encourage you. You might be in a position of wanting to give up. We understand and we know there's a lot going on around us, but I just want to encourage you, remain in prayer. Stay rooted in faith. Right? If there's one place where you are able to refresh your soul, where you're able to refresh your spirit, is definitely having that conversation with God and be frank. Fall apart if you have to, scream, be angry with God, let it all out, because that is where at the altar you'll be able to literally receive your healing and comfort and encouragement. But in whatever it is that God has asked you to do, have faith in Him first. Let Him lead you, all right? Let Him teach you, and be willing to be receptive. He will correct you. There will be things that He will need you to do away with, but do that. This season of pruning for everything that God prepares for us to do. So while He prunes, He's going to be painful and uncomfortable, but I'd like to encourage you to be humble and let God have His way, because I can promise you, you are not going to be disappointed and you are not going to be ashamed. By the time He's done with you, you're going to be coming out shining and fine as gold, because God needs to panel beat us sometimes so that we can come into the shape and the moldness of that which He wants us to do for Him and for His glory. So with that, I'd like to encourage you to stay prayerful and trust God in everything that you do, no matter how big or small.
I don't even know what words to say anymore after that. So you guys, you've heard it all. You've seen it, you've heard it from Lady Thabang, and I hope, because she's spoken right into me, and I hope she's spoken right into you as well. So don't give up, walk by faith, remain steadfast. I don't even know which one to say. There's just been too many there. So yeah, till next time, This is Mama K signing off. Thank you once again, my
you,
dear
Mama
sister
K.
friend.
Thank you.
Looking forward to. We did speak about the mentor bit.
We are doing that.
Yeah,
we're doing
we're
everything.
doing that. Okay, good.
Yes, I'll wait for a schedule. Mama K promised to give me a schedule. I'll wait for one. I'm right
Good.
here.
We're there. Okay. Till next time, this is Impact Africa, and this is Mama K with Lady Thabang saying, stay blessed, stay focused, remember God is love, and stay prayerful, like she said. Take care. Bye-bye.